Hi folks, and welcome to Schick Happens. In today's episode, I want to discuss the situation of being confined to your home. Most states are under the stay-at-home order other than essential jobs. And I know this is probably a culture shock to a lot of people not being able to go out and do things. I'm not a people person myself or a social butterfly, but I do want to offer some things, or I don't know, some ideas to keep you busy while you're at home. Now, I want to be the first to say that this video or these ideas might not apply to everyone or even appeal to everyone. Just some thoughts I have about staying busy or thinking outside of the box to do things under the current situation. First and foremost, be outside. If you can get outside, obviously keep your social distance, but if you have yard work that needs to be done or mulching or anything like that, just get outside and enjoy some fresh air. Maybe learn how to can food. Do some hot baths with salsa or tomato sauce, something like that, or get a pressure canner and learn how to do meat. That's a really good thing to learn and have under your sleeve in times like this. Give it a try. I'm sure most of you have freezers, and probably a lot of them need to be defrosted or cleaned. It's one of the things the wife and I are going to do here pretty soon, is go through all of our freezers and refrigerators, defrost them and get them cleaned. I kind of did some of them last fall, but this is a perfect opportunity to go through some freezers and get them cleaned up. And while you're at it, some spring house cleaning too. When was the last time you cleaned your grill? Now, there's a lot of people that are on it immediately after they use it. I'm not one of those a lot of people. I need to get some elbow grease and cleaner on this and get this thing whipped back into shape. So maybe consider cleaning your grill. A lot of you have been following me on this channel for quite some time, and just recently I've put up some fishing videos. Get out and fish. I recently put a video up asking the governor of the state of Ohio to allow free fishing during this time frame. And I've gotten a lot of responses from that. There's some states that have already done it, and then other states are locking it all down. Hunting and fishing season. That makes no sense to me. In the state of Ohio, there's a ton of streams, creeks, rivers that you can fish, and the closest person might not be a mile away. Get out and fish if you can. It's relaxing, and it might even offer an opportunity to put some food on the table. You know, another thing you can do, and I could spend hours doing this, is watching my wife work on landscaping. How about building some birdhouses? If you got any scrap wood laying around in your garage or your shop or whatever, make some birdhouses. Get the kids involved if you have kids. You don't need a lot of elaborate tools to build one of these. I mean, it's just a birdhouse. It doesn't have to be fancy. But that's a great way to spend an afternoon. If you have some scrap wood laying around, make a few birdhouses. Here's an idea. How about putting a puzzle together? Put one out on your dining room table or a card table and spend a couple hours a day putting a real big puzzle together. Be surprised how fun that can be. As a matter of fact, the wife and I are going to do that here soon. We used to do that when we were kids all the time. I love doing it. Why not do it now? Now, I don't know if any of these ideas are helpful to anyone. I just want some folks to think outside of the box and offer some ideas of things to do to keep yourself busy while most of the U.S. is in shelter in place, other than going to work and when you absolutely have to go to town for supplies. There are a lot of things you can do. You just got to think outside of the box. I mentioned earlier about spring cleaning your house. Along that same line, how about go through all your pantry cupboards, reorganize them, get rid of some things that have been up there for 7-8 years. It's a great opportunity to go through your cupboards, your pantry, your kitchen, and just take everything out, go through it, sort it. You'll be glad you did when you're done. Here's another thing to consider. How about carving? Digging out one of your old pocket knives and carve a block of wood. You know, not too long ago, a friend come up, brought his lathe, and we turned some bowls. But he left me these spoons. He carved these by hand. I mean, who knows? Down the road, it might turn into a hobby you really enjoy. Give it a try. I might get back into carving myself. Every once in a while, spend a few hours unplugged from the internet, your phone. Get your kids unplugged. Read a novel, read a couple books. Write a book, write a novel. Start a journal. There's a lot of things you can do in the way of books. If you're at the store the next time, go to the book section. Get a book on wild mushrooms and wild edibles. Learn up on them. I just think every once in a while it would do us all good to unplug ourselves and get back kind of into the old school type of thinking. Books are a great way to start. If you don't like going into town, have it delivered. And speaking of books, get out some of those old recipe books. Try some meals you haven't ever tried before, or it's been years since you made one. Now, I know this situation that we're currently in has put a lot of people in a bad spot. A lot of people were unprepared for this. Maybe spend a few days writing things down that you wish you would have had more of in the house for supplies. And get a game plan together that once we get over this hump, think down the road in case we run into something like this again, things that you would like to have at the house. Now, I'm not advocating being a doomsday prepper or a hoarder. None of that. But it's always good to be prepared in case something like this happens. Because let's face it, most of the time, people don't even think anything remotely close to this could happen in the United States. And they're finding out otherwise, that it can. Maybe now's the time to get into a good exercise routine, myself included. How about getting your garage cleaned out and organized? That's been on our to-do list now for 2.5 years. We're going to get it done here in the next 2 weeks, I can promise you that. We have a lot of time on our hands, and we certainly don't want to go into town just to go into town. Now, there are a lot of people that can't get unplugged. They're glued to the internet, maybe YouTube, and that's fine. If that's your thing, have at it. But if you're running out of ideas or videos to watch, if I may make a suggestion, start with my first video 8 months ago and watch all my videos, all 140 of them, 4 or 5 times each. Thanks for joining me here today on Schick Happens. I hope it was of some value to a few people. If you enjoy this channel and its content, please consider subscribing. Now I'm going to go hang some birdhouses.